found the third weapon in this guy. Come on, we can finally extract out of here and see what we earned. There is nothing in our way. Let's get out of here. In the menus, we have on our soldier, armor carriers, gas masks, kill streaks, and self revives. And then you get a small backpack that allows you to hold on to keys to open doors of special interested areas like police stations or strongholds. There's also fortresses that I didn't get to really see much of. And then there's contraband, which is the main focus of the mode right now, which is the most disappointing in a lot of people's eyes. Right now, you just pick up certain blueprints or weapons from enemies, and if you survive and extract, that's where that weapon goes. It becomes your contraband. There's also an insured weapon slots. There's 3 of them for each faction, and I guess this provides you your decked out gun, and that's your insured weapon, and then have a cooldown or somewhat until you can use it again. I have no idea what this exactly means within DMZ. So if you look over here, I have Al Mazrah map. It has a radiation zone on the map. It will grow until it consumes the whole map and everyone left within it. So you have to be aware of that when you drop into the DMZ or spawn into the DMZ mode. You have about 25 minutes until that radiation zone starts expanding, and then you have about another 8 minutes until it completely devours the map. I did notice that it's not very potent. It's not going to kill you right away. I've seen teams and squads fight within the radiation zone. I believe there's special missions to stay that long. That's pretty cool, but it's weird that the radiation zone is not really a threat. It's just a object within the game that provides you an extra layer of things to do if you stay that long. Then within the map, you also see a lot of green icons. That's contracts, random events, mini missions to keep you entertained while you're running around in the DMZ. I did see Dr. Lupo and his squad. They picked up a contract and they had to get onto a boat. Pack chopper came along and was a big threat. They took out the helicopter. They got to the extraction zone, and this helicopter took away this big crate, and they got tons of cash. Then we also have strongholds. We all know this is going to be a high risk, high reward area, and let me tell you, it definitely amps up the difficulty once you get around these strongholds. The bots don't mess around in these areas. I did like that when watching the DMZ review. There's also fortresses, elite fortresses. Not too sure what exactly those are. I did see Dr. Lupo have to fight a juggernaut. I don't know if they were in a fortress or a stronghold or not, but I'm pretty intrigued on what these fortresses and elite fortresses are. And then there's also UAV towers to reveal everything around you in that location. It provides you the obvious, which would be players and bots. I don't know if you can tell what a bot looks like on UAV compared to a player yet. I couldn't really tell, so we're gonna also have to wait and see once we get our hands on the DMC. And then there's much more on this list that I can't really go over because I didn't get to see a lot of gameplay surrounding of what's on the list. So the DMZ did have a lot of combat. There was very little PvP, player on player action though. There's actually a lot of streamers that complained about how they couldn't find a lot of players. They didn't really enjoy that aspect, but I can tell you right now from what I'm hearing is the player count was very low during the DMZ event, so there's going to be at least double the amount of players when we get our hands on DMZ. It's going to be a lot more chaotic. And before we get to the combat around the AI, I heard that you can team up with randoms within the world, which is really awesome. Even if you're already teamed up a random squad and you die and then they just ignore you and you're on the ground waiting to be revived, if you do end up having that unique situation where another team comes along and sees that you are down and dead, they could revive you and then you become their teammate within their squad, which is a really unique aspect within this game. I really like that mechanic, so I can't wait to see how that's played out, because you can get revenge on your old teammates that didn't want to revive you, that kind of just pissed you off a little little bit. So you have that chip on your shoulder and you're going to look for those guys that you were playing with and you can take them out if you wanted to. Really interesting mechanic there. You will also be able to interrogate other players. I'm going to guess that's in DMZ, and I know it's going to be in Warzone. So that's a really cool idea where someone that decided to go be a lone wolf, now you can go and press a button, interrogate them, and then it becomes a personal UAV for you to be able to hunt down his squad. That is really interesting. I really like that mechanic. I can't wait to see how that's played out. Can't wait to see how the interrogation works, how random people can revive you and then steal you from other teams. That just sounds all cool to me. Can't wait to see it. There is some uniqueness within the new DMZ and Warzone 2. So moving on to AI combat, the world AI looked very lackluster, sort of. They're super easy. At one point I actually saw Dr. Lupo run up to one of those bots. It took a bot just a second to realize it was a player, and then he started shooting back. The world bots in general are very casual. You feel like a badass. It's this open world and you just demolish all these AIs. It could go either way. A lot of people might enjoy feeling like a badass, and then others just get really bored really easy for how easy those world AI bots are. But the good thing is, once you get near those strongholds or fortresses, they go from "don't hurt me daddy" to full-blown realism mode, and they will demolish you and punish you. So you gotta be really careful. You can't just go in there like a typical COD player and try to rush through these strongholds. Once you hit these strongholds, you're gonna have to be tactical. You're gonna have to talk to your teammates, which is really awesome to see. So let's get a little bit into the DMZ loot. This is where the mode is supposed to become more of the case of why you play. You get it, case, weapon case. So yeah, you are able to collect weapon cases, and you can open up or crack open safes to get keys and money. And I saw some that have kill streaks within them. This is supposed to be their core focus for DMZ, is the loot. But to be honest, just to have weapon cases and safes that you can crack open for just money, keys to go into strongholds, and then find more weapon cases, that's the game loot. It's very lackluster to me. There's also loot crates around the map that have lesser tier blueprinted weapons, but these weapon cases, I believe, are the main factor of loot. This is what you're going into DMZ to try to grab. You can only get these certain blueprints from these weapon cases, so there is a reason to play DMZ. But once you collect all these weapon cases, what is the longevity of this game mode? Because once I get the unique blueprints, okay, now what? And are these blueprints even worth playing in Warzone with or multiplayer 6v6? So they might not even be worth it. Let's talk about the DMZ extractions. From what I saw, there are 3 extraction locations, and right off the bat you can see these locations, which is kind of weird to me because a lot of people that want that PvP experience are just going to camp those extraction points and wait for everyone else to do the work, and then when they go to extract, they just gank on them and kill them, grab their loot and get out. So it is very surprising that we get these 3 extraction points right off the bat, and that's the only way to extract. I'm not totally positive because we didn't get to see a lot. One cool thing I did see is during the extractions, you can also jump on the side of the helicopters for a last-ditch effort to survive, which is a really unique mechanic there. I really enjoyed watching that. I can't wait to feel like seconds from death because I'm late to the extraction and I just jump on the helicopter last minute on the side, praying that no one sees me and they shoot me off and I get away with my loot. Can't wait to see that mechanic. It's pretty cool. But closing it up here, there are a lot of positive game mechanics that are coming out of DMZ. I've really enjoyed. Can't wait to get my hands on it. But the big question is, what is the point of DMZ? Is it just going to be a sandbox experience like GTA but without buying apartments and really any progression? You're supposed to just go in there, have a few beers with buddies and just have a good old time? Or are they going to eventually implement a longevity mechanic to DMZ that allows people to actually feel like there's a point of playing this mode? We're going to have to wait and see, but as of right now, what I see, there is no point to really playing other than just having that sandbox experience. So I personally just can't wait to get my hands on it and really dive into finding out what DMZ really is. That's my thoughts on DMZ. What are your guys' thoughts? Write down in the comments below. Are you guys gonna play DMZ? Are you gonna skip it and just play Warzone 2? Definitely let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys on my next video. See ya! Probably the most fun I've had in forever. Let's get at it.